Now listen carefully, because this is where most people fail. They don't lack desire, they lack direction tied to discipline. A burning desire with no order is a wildfire, dangerous, chaotic, and ultimately destructive. But when desire is channeled into structured effort, day in, day out, that's when the miracle happens. For the next 90 days, I don't want you to just work hard. I want you to transform. That means setting a rhythm. Wake up at the same time. Guard your first hour like it's sacred. Don't let distractions, messages, opinions, gossip, or news hijack your mind before you've had time to command it. In those first moments of your day, you must condition your mind like a warrior sharpening his blade. Speak your purpose aloud. Write down your goals in the present tense. I am building a 6-figure business. I am a disciplined, focused leader. Not I want to, but I am. Because your mind does not distinguish between truth and belief. It becomes what you repeat. Napoleon Hill said it best, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief is not passive. Belief is a seed, and repetition is the water. For the next 90 days, repeat your identity until it replaces the old one. And don't just focus on what you want. Focus on what you're willing to sacrifice. You can't have transformation without subtraction. You want freedom, then subtract the comfort. Subtract the laziness. Subtract the instant gratification. The 90-day sprint isn't about adding more. It's about eliminating everything that keeps you average. Henry Ford didn't build an empire by asking how to work less. He obsessed over how to simplify and scale, how to master his time and outpace his rivals through precision. That's the mindset you adopt now. Relentless focus on what matters. Cut the noise ruthlessly, and you'll be tempted to break the chain. 2, take a day off. To sleep in just this once, to skip the gym, to cheat the routine. That's your old self, fighting for air. Starve it. Don't kill it gently. Crush it. Make breaking promises to yourself more painful than the discomfort of keeping them. This next 90 days is your battlefield, you versus you, the only war that ever mattered. Now let's talk about clarity. Most people chase vague goals. I want success. I want more money. I want to be happy, but vague goals produce vague results. Clarity is power. You must define, with surgical precision, what the next 90 days look like. Not just what you'll do, but why. Write down your 90-day outcome, not just the goal, but the mission. Then reverse engineer it. If your goal is to launch a brand, what do you need to do in the next 90 days to actually go live? Not to think about it, not to plan. To ship the product, to launch the page, to close the first sale. Break it down to weekly targets, then daily tasks. Every day you measure progress. Every week you recalibrate. You're not hoping, you're tracking. That's what separates winners from dreamers. Data. You'll find it hard. Of course you will. The mind resists clarity because clarity exposes accountability. When you know exactly what you're supposed to do and you don't do it, you can't hide behind excuses. You're naked in the mirror. That's why clarity is rare. But those who demand it from themselves become unstoppable. Let me remind you, Thomas Edison didn't just stumble into the light bulb. He failed over 10,000 times, not figuratively, literally 10,000 failed attempts. But he didn't see failure, he saw data. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's a man who valued clarity over comfort. For the next 90 days, every failure is feedback. Every delay is data. You are the scientist and the subject, testing your own limits, refining your own system. And this is where the real magic begins. Once you hit day 30, day 45, day 60, your identity starts to shift. You stop seeing yourself as the struggler and start seeing yourself as the producer, the architect, the one who does what he says he'll do. Others will notice. But more importantly, you'll notice. You'll trust yourself more. And once you trust yourself, you become dangerous. Because a man who trusts his own discipline can do anything. There's a quiet shift that happens when you start keeping your word to yourself. At first, it feels small, like showing up on time, writing the page, finishing the workout. But soon you're not just doing the work. You're becoming someone new. Your energy changes. Your eyes change. You walk differently. You speak less. And when you do speak, people listen. Why? Because when a person is living in alignment, when their actions match their mission, the world senses it. There's a gravitational pull around someone who is truly locked in, not chasing trends, not begging for attention, but commanding respect through execution. For the next 90 days, be that person. Let others waste their time explaining what they're gonna do. You just do it. No warning shots, no previews, just silent, focused action. That's how you break out, not by asking permission, but by proving through relentless discipline that you deserve the rewards. Now here's the hard truth. You don't rise by wanting more. You rise by becoming more. Success is not a reward for effort. It's a consequence of identity. If you still see yourself as undisciplined, as weak, as someone who never follows through, then every goal you chase will slip through your fingers. But the good news is this identity can be rewritten every single day for the next 90 days. You are reprogramming your self-image, not through affirmations alone, but through evidence. You show up, you deliver, you honor your word. That's how the mind starts to believe. That's how the brain says, wait a minute, maybe I am the kind of person who finishes. And once that belief locks in, you become dangerous. Napoleon Hill wrote, faith is the only known antidote for failure. But faith doesn't come from the sky. It comes from daily action. You build faith, brick by brick, habit by habit. So if you're serious about this 90-day transformation, here's what you must do next. You create a non-negotiable routine. Let me repeat that non-negotiable. Not when I feel like it. Not if I have time. You design your day like your life depends on it, because it does. Structure your mornings. Wake up, journal your thoughts, state your goals out loud, visualize your results. Then, execute the hardest task first. The thing you've been avoiding, do it. Make it your daily trophy. And at night, you reflect. You write down 3 wins, even if they're small. Why? Because your brain needs evidence of progress. Small wins compound into belief, and belief turns into momentum. But hear me loud and clear, there will be days you don't feel like it. There will be days when your motivation dies. And that's exactly when most people quit. But you will not. Because this isn't about feeling, it's about decision. You already decided. The outcome is not up for debate. Discipline is not doing what you love. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the mood has left your body. You don't rise by emotions. You rise by standards. And for the next 90 days, you're raising them. Let others hit snooze. Let others break their promises. Let others settle for mediocrity. You rise, you lock in, you execute regardless. Because your dreams are not suggestions. They're orders. You want the life. Then you must live like the person who earns it. That means control your inputs, what you eat, what you watch, who you listen to, who you let in your circle. Cut every distraction, every low vibration habit, every excuse. This is a 90-day war against weakness. You will sacrifice, you will suffer. But in that sacrifice, you will become something greater. Your old self, it's not invited into the next chapter. It doesn't belong in the winner's circle. So let it go. Let go of every story that says you're not good enough. Let go of every excuse you've recycled for years. Let go of the identity that's been holding you down. Because this is your resurrection. And every day you wake up and push through, you are reborn. Most people don't change because they're addicted to their past. They're loyal to their excuses. They wear their pain like a badge, proud of the wounds, but afraid to heal. But you, if you're still here, if you're still listening, you are done with that version of you. You're not here to explain your limitations. You're here to eliminate them. And that takes radical responsibility. No more blame. No more pointing fingers. No more, it's not fair. Fairness has nothing to do with success. Execution does. You have 90 days to shock your system, to break the habits that have been silently killing you, to fire the thoughts that have been renting space in your head, to stop waiting for the right time and realize the right time is the moment you decide it is. And that moment is now. Get this in your spirit. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no friend, no course, no shortcut. This is between you and the person in the mirror. This is your rite of passage, your mental training ground. And the price of admission is pain, persistence, and patience. The next 90 days are not about perfection. You will stumble. You will want to quit. You will be tempted to slide back into comfort. But remember this, comfort is a cage, and the people who stay there, they rot, they decay while pretending to smile. You were not made for that. You were made to rise, to fight, to conquer, to build yourself into something terrifyingly powerful. There is a beast in you, but it's buried beneath convenience, laziness, distraction. You must wake it up. That beast is discipline. That beast is purpose. That beast is the version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't fold, that doesn't need applause. Because he's too busy becoming a legend in silence. Let everyone else post about their hustle. Let them perform for likes. You just grind. You just build. You just transform. Every day you show up for the next 90 days, you're casting votes for the man or woman you're becoming. Not a wish. Not a fantasy. A new identity backed by repetition. Remember what Hill taught. Any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. That's your edge. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Relentless input. Obsessive focus. Daily output. Success is earned in boredom, not in the fireworks, not in the applause, but in the quiet, gritty moments when nobody is watching and you still show up. Ask yourself right now, what are the 3 habits that will change my life if I do them every day for 90 days? Don't overcomplicate, choose them. Write them down, live them. Then ask what 3 habits are silently destroying my progress. Be brutally honest, then kill them. Rip them out of your routine like a weed choking your future. This is war, and if you treat it casually, you'll become a casualty. This is the season where you create your edge. The season where your name gets whispered in rooms you haven't entered yet. Because the universe watches the committed. It rearranges itself for the one who won't quit. It bends toward those who move with fire. And it rewards those who live like their dreams are a non-negotiable mission. That's who you are now. Not a dreamer. A doer. Not a talker. A terminator. Not a wannabe. A warrior. You move differently. You think differently. You act while others delay, because deep down you know you weren't put on this planet to be average. You weren't born to blend in. You were built to lead, to build, to break cycles, to set a new standard. But it starts with these 90 days, not next year, not when you feel ready, not when the timing is perfect. Now, let this be the beginning of your rebirth. Let this be the chapter they talk about when they say, I don't know what happened, he just snapped, he just changed, he just became someone else. And you'll smile, because you'll know it wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was the decision, the daily execution, the 90-day war plan that rebuilt your destiny. And if you do it right for the next 90 days, everything changes. But here's the secret few talk about: change doesn't come from motivation alone. Motivation fades. It's discipline that builds empires. It's consistency that reshapes identity. You don't need more information. You don't need a guru to hold your hand. What you need is a decision, a real decision, the kind that shakes your bones, the kind of decision that says, no more waiting, no more doubting, no more dragging my feet. I start now, and I don't stop until it's done, because once you decide, truly decide, the world starts to bend, opportunities begin to move toward you. Why? Because you've declared to life that you're no longer available for mediocrity. That's what Napoleon Hill meant when he said, definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. You can't wander into greatness. You can't stumble into a masterpiece. You build it. You chisel it. You bleed for it. And that's what the next 90 days are about: waking up with purpose, going to bed with progress, falling in love with the grind again, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. You see, most people treat their goals like wishes. They hope it happens. They pray it arrives. But they never become the person worthy of it. The next 90 days, they're not about achieving the goal. They're about becoming the kind of person who can't live without achieving it. You must move with intention. You must think with clarity. You must walk like the person you want to become. And every single day you must remind yourself, I don't rise to the level of my dreams, I fall to the level of my standards. So raise them. Demand more from yourself. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now. Because 90 days from now, you'll either be a warning or a weapon, a cautionary tale or a champion, a spectator or a legend. And that choice, it's made every single day, in silence, when no one's watching, when it's raining, when you're tired, when quitting would be so easy. But remember this: ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Let it hurt. Let it burn. Let the discomfort shape you. Because fire doesn't destroy gold, it purifies it. Now hear this clearly: if you want your life to transform in 90 days, you cannot keep doing what the old version of you did. You must bury the excuses. You must slaughter the story that says, I've tried everything. You haven't tried everything. You've tried what was comfortable. But comfort is the silent killer of dreams. It whispers, you're fine, while your soul screams for more. So what do? You wake up earlier than your doubt. You move your body before your brain talks you out of it. You write your goals every day until your subconscious believes they are inevitable. You stop negotiating with your feelings because your feelings don't care about your future. Your standards do. Your routines do. Your rituals do. And the greatest gift you can give yourself is structure. Not rigidity, not punishment, structure. A system that protects your vision when motivation goes missing. Napoleon Hill studied the wealthiest minds of his generation. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller. And do you know what he discovered? They all followed a system. They didn't rely on willpower. They designed their days to support their desires. And so must you. For the next 90 days, build a morning routine that ignites your mind. Feed your spirit before the world feeds you noise. Eliminate one toxic habit. Just one. Replace it with something powerful, reading, journaling, visualizing, building, and do it even when no one claps, especially when no one claps, because this is the quiet season of becoming. This is when you rise unseen. This is when your roots grow deeper so that later your success can grow taller. Every seed planted in discipline will bloom in destiny, but don't expect applause yet. Don't expect results overnight. Expect resistance. Expect setbacks. Expect to be tested. That's how the universe filters out the weak. That's how it decides who's worthy. Not the one who starts, but the one who stays. The one who keeps going when no one's watching. The one who shows up when no one believes. The one who wakes up and says, I will not negotiate with my greatness. I will not apologize for my hunger. I will not delay what I was born to do. Because once you taste momentum, once you feel what it's like to be addicted to your purpose instead of your past, you never go back. Do you want to know the difference between a 90-day transformation and a 90-day illusion? It's not the plan, it's not the tools, it's not even the time. It's the internal war you're willing to fight. Every single day, your old self will rise. That version of you that is lazy, tired, addicted to comfort, married to mediocrity. That version will whisper, skip it today. Just once won't hurt. You've earned a break. And if you give in to that voice even once, you just trained your subconscious to believe it. But if you fight back, even when it's hard, even when no one sees, even when it hurts, you train your mind to obey your vision instead of your weakness. That's the power of the next 90 days. You are not just trying to change habits. You are reprogramming your identity. You are rewiring a mind that's been trained to lose to now expect victory. Listen carefully, this is not about motivation. This is not about hustle culture. This is not about becoming a robot. This is about one thing: breaking the contract with your former self. Because your old life will not hand you your new one. It will fight to keep you where you are. It will use people. It will use distractions. It will use your fears, your insecurities, your comfort. And if you're not intentional, you will slip right back into the graveyard of unrealized potential. But not you. Not this time. Not if you do what the weak won't. For the next 90 days, say no to temporary pleasures that steal your eternal purpose. Train your mind more than your body. Disconnect from noise so you can reconnect to vision. Trade entertainment for elevation. Consume wisdom like your life depends on it. Because it does. You want freedom. It starts with discipline. You want peace. It starts with clarity. You want power. It starts with pain. The pain of shedding your old skin. The pain of letting go of who you were. But on the other side of that pain is everything you've been chasing. Understand this: no one is born unstoppable. Every giant you admire, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, they bled like you, they doubted like you, they suffered like you. But here's what they did differently. They stayed in motion when everything around them screamed, quit. And they didn't wait for motivation. They didn't need someone to believe in them. They didn't need applause. Because they had something far more powerful: a decision. A decision to move, even if it was slow, even if they failed, even if no one understood. And that decision became momentum. That momentum became identity. And that identity, it created legacy. So the question is not, will this work for me? The question is, will I become the kind of person this works for? If you want to become magnetic to success, to ideas, to energy, to opportunity, you must become a person of unshakable intention. No more drifting. No more checking your phone the moment you wake up. No more waiting until you feel like it. The world doesn't give crowns to those who dabble. It hands them to those who commit without excuse. So here's your challenge for the next 90 days. Wake up with purpose. No snooze, no scroll, no delay. Create before you consume. Let your thoughts shape your reality, not the world's chaos. Visualize your future until it burns behind your eyes. Move your body like it's your battlefield. Speak words that align with power, not pity. This isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming dangerously consistent. Even God doesn't water seeds that aren't planted in faith and action. You want miracles, then show your belief with motion. Don't just dream about greatness. Prepare for it. Don't just wish for discipline. Become it. Because the truth is, your new life is already watching you. And it's asking, are you becoming someone worthy of me? Every minute you hesitate, every day you delay, you're sending a signal to your subconscious mind that you are not yet serious. And understand this, the mind is always listening. It records every promise you break to yourself, every excuse you repeat. Every maybe tomorrow becomes a new commandment. This is who I am, and that identity becomes a prison. But the opposite is also true. Every day you honor your word. Every time you take action despite fear or fatigue, you tell your mind, we are not ordinary. We are becoming exceptional. And slowly your brain rewires. You begin to think like someone with destiny in their blood. You begin to walk like someone who expects victory. You begin to speak like someone who commands their world. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's neuroplasticity fueled by fire. See, when Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, he wasn't talking about fantasy. He was talking about habitual belief, reinforced through ruthless discipline. You don't need 90 days of perfection. You need 90 days of obsession. Obsession with rising earlier. Obsession with clarity. Obsession with not wasting the gift of another day. This isn't hustle culture. This is purpose culture. There are two types of pain in this world, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. One you feel now, sweat on your face, ache in your soul. The other you feel for decades, you decide. For the next 90 days, every morning you open your eyes, say this, I'm not here to survive. I'm here to dominate. Let that voice echo louder than doubt. Let it roar louder than the world's noise. Let it guide you like a compass made of iron and lightning, the version of you you've dreamed of. They're waiting at the edge of 90 days of war, not against the world, not against others, but against the weakest version of yourself. Go to battle every single day, and don't come back until you've won. And if you truly dare to rise above mediocrity, to live not like the masses who drift through life, but as one who commands it, then for the next 90 days, you must declare war on your comfort zone. Every time you feel resistance, every time your mind whispers, not today, you will rise. Because the moment you move in spite of discomfort, you win. This is the root of all discipline, the ability to act not when you feel like it, but when you don't. Understand this. Success isn't some grand, explosive event. It's microscopic, it's boring, it's repetitive. It's waking up at the same time, showing up even when your emotions tell you otherwise, writing one page, making one more call, sweating through one more workout, listening to one more chapter, over and over and over again, until your identity bends to the will of your actions. You want change, real change. Then know this truth: change does not come from motivation. It comes from identity. If you want to become someone new in 90 days, you must start acting like that version of yourself before you ever feel ready. Act like the millionaire before you have a cent in the bank. Think like the winner before anyone claps for you. Speak like the leader before anyone listens. Move like the powerful even when no one is watching. Because here's the secret: your actions carve your identity. And when you start showing up like that new version of you, consistently, the world has no choice but to adjust. But this isn't easy. You will lose friends. You will be misunderstood. You'll miss parties. You'll feel alone. Good. That's the price of rising above average. Most people are addicted to fitting in. But not you. Not anymore. For the next 90 days, choose to walk alone if you have to. Choose to study instead of scrolling. Choose to train when no one claps. Choose to stay in when the world tempts you out. Choose growth over gossip. Vision over distraction. Delayed gratification over cheap thrills. Choose solitude, because it's in the silence that your true self will awaken. And when the doubt creeps in, because it will, you will remember the greats who came before you. Do you think Edison didn't face failure? He failed over 10,000 times before perfecting the light bulb. Ford was mocked for dreaming of a car for the common man. Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. Lincoln lost election after election. Carnegie came from poverty and built empires. They weren't different than you. They were just more consistent. They had a purpose so deep that even pain couldn't shake it. They embraced boredom. They welcomed failure. They endured ridicule. And they kept going. So now I ask you, who will you become in the next 90 days? Will you be another person who watched the video and did nothing? Or will you be the one who woke up, stood tall, and made a silent vow, enough? I change now, because once you do, once you make that internal shift, you no longer need anyone to believe in you. You believe in yourself. You no longer need applause. You move in silence. You no longer fear the process. You fall in love with it. The next 90 days are not about perfection. They're about power. They're about building momentum. They're about proving to your soul that when you say something, you mean it. And by the time the world sees the transformation, it'll be too late. Because you won't be starting anymore. You'll be unstoppable. So now we've come to the edge. You've been handed the blueprint. The next 90 days, they are no longer abstract. They are no longer of someday. They are right in front of you, breathing, waiting. And what you do next will echo for the rest of your life. There's a moment in every man's life, a sacred, silent moment, when the noise of the world fades, and all that's left is a mirror. And in that mirror, you don't see your excuses. You don't see your past. You see who you could be. The potential, the greatness, the man you were meant to become. He's been watching you, waiting, not judging, but demanding. He's not moved by your likes, your followers, your temporary motivation. He doesn't care about the approval of others or the fears you inherited. He only wants to know one thing. Will you show up every single day? Because the next 90 days are not a challenge. They are a rebirth. They are a sacred vow that you will no longer betray yourself, that you will no longer settle for being 60%, 80%, even 95% of who you could be. That from this moment forward, your actions will align with your vision. You don't need hype. You need habits. You don't need more information. You need execution. You don't need motivation. You need a decision. And once that decision is made, once your soul is committed, the universe will move. Doors will open. Energy will return. Power will flood your lungs again. But only if you walk. Don't wait for the right time. There is none. Don't wait for more confidence. It will grow through repetition. Don't wait for approval. No one's coming. This is your life. This is your moment. And the man you were meant to be, he's standing just 90 days away. So here is your contract: 90 days of discipline, 90 days of execution, 90 days of showing up no matter what. You will journal your thoughts. You will rise early. You will train your body like a warrior. You will master your craft like an artist. You will honor your word like a king. And at the end of those 90 days, when the fog clears, you won't recognize yourself, because you will have become the man you were always meant to be: hungry, focused, relentless, unstoppable. And maybe, just maybe, you'll look in the mirror again, and that version of you, the one who used to only exist in your dreams, will finally stare back at you with fire in his eyes. Because you did the work, because you paid the price, because you earned the right to call yourself powerful. And remember, greatness isn't found in the grand. It's forged in the daily, the ordinary, the invisible. So rise. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because this isn't just a motivational speech. This is a command.